cosplayers! Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite sewing seams called the French seam.
Oui, oui, ma chérie, notre cuisine a bon baguette palais.
I love this seam because it's so easy to do and you don't need any type of special equipment to do it. Any sewing machine can do it. You could even hand sew a French seam if you were suicidal. So we're going to run through a tutorial. I'm going to show you how to do this, and it's definitely something that you can do, I promise. And it's a great way to make your costume just look even more professional and just take it up another notch. For materials, you're going to need your 2 pieces of fabric that you're going to sew together, scissors, and your sewing machine. So let's get down to it. Now once you have your fabric pieces, you're going to put them together wrong side to wrong side. Now this is opposite from what you're probably used to doing. Most of the time when you sew a seam, you put right side to right side. Remember, wrong side to wrong side is the key for your first step in a French seam. So I have my fabric pieces together and I'm going to run them through the sewing machine. I'm just using a basic straight stitch, not doing any type of special settings to my machine. Now I'm going to back stitch a bit to make sure I tie it off. Okay. Now you can see here I just have a simple straight stitch down the fabric. Now the next step is one that you might be tempted to skip because it seems kind of unnecessary. I assure you it's not. Don't skip it or you'll end up having a rather unattractive seam on the right side of your fabric. So the next thing you need to do is take this raw edge here and trim it down short. And I'll show you why we're going to do this. If we were to leave it with a long edge like we have here, and then sew our other stitch shorter, you'd see that once you have the right side of the fabric, you're able to see this raw edge in here that's obviously not attractive. So we want to make sure that we get this raw edge made nice and short so we don't have that possibility. So I'm just going to take my scissors and just cut all the edge off here. Just gonna leave a little bit, just enough to make sure it, doesn't get unraveled, of course. You can see here that I've got just a little bit left, not too much. So now I'm going to turn my fabric to where this seam we just sewed is on the inside. Now we have our fabric right side to right side. Now you can either, if your fabric doesn't lay very well, you can take an iron to it and iron down your seam here to make it flat. You can put some pins through it, which is usually what I'll do if I have some complicated fabric. If you have a simple cotton, it'll usually lay just with your fingers. You're just going to kind of maneuver your fingers to get it that nice edge right there. And then you're just going to make a simple straight stitch down your fabric. Again, make sure you're getting far enough to the left so that you don't catch that raw edge. We want to make sure that stays inside of the seam. So I'm going to sew my straight stitch down in here. Stopping to kind of pull my fabric and make sure it's still lined up properly. All right, now our French seam is done. On the inside of your fabric, it'll look like this. You can see there's no raw edge. Everything is nice and close. You don't have to worry about your fabric fraying. It looks super clean. And then obviously on the outside of our garment, or the right sides of our fabric, we just have a regular seam line. So as you can see, it's very simple to do. I didn't have to do anything special on my super simple sewing machine to be able to get this done. Again, you could do it even by hand sewing if you want, since it's just a simple straight seam twice. Just remember, you're starting with the wrong sides together, and the next step is going to be the right sides together. That's usually the trickiest thing when you first learn a French seam, since that's the opposite of what we're used to doing. I hope this tutorial has been helpful to you. If there's anything that I could have explained better, don't hesitate to leave a comment and I'll reply back to you as soon as I can with more detailed instruction. Or you can also message us on our Facebook page. Thanks guys, see you next time!